How long have you been an English teacher?
3 years.
This is my 5th year.
6 years.
This is my 11th year.
This is my 11th year.
Since 1985.
What made you want to be a teacher?
That's easy. My 11th grade English teacher was the worst imaginable human being ever. Worst teacher I think I've ever had in my life. And I really liked English, and she made me not like English. And so I thought to myself, well, maybe I can be the exact opposite of that.
I really enjoyed, and still do really enjoy, trying to help kids become better students and to really learn and grow and kind of have that aha moment.
Why English? I love story. I love stories, always have, still do. And so bringing stories, sharing stories is probably the coolest part of my day when that's what we get to do.
Both of my parents are teachers growing up, so I was actually pretty adamant about not being a teacher because every dinner conversation was pretty much bitching about their jobs. So I went into college and I was an English major because I really liked English. It was something I think I have an aptitude for. And I went to University of Wisconsin and I really liked the English department, and it just kind of led me towards teaching. It was something that I think as I got older I realized I might be good at, and I think just from, I guess, my background, I knew quite a bit about. So that kind of led me to the School of Ed, and I think it was a really good decision.
I wanted to be a teacher because honestly I felt like I had a great high school experience. I mean, it was challenging, but it was good, and I felt like a lot of people poured into me and took time to get to know me and make sure that I was doing well, and so I wanted to kind of give back, I guess, and do the same.
I spent a couple years outside of education, working after college, and then missed being in the classroom and missed being around people wanting to learn. So after a couple years, I decided to go back to school.
I think Duss is a great teacher. The thing I really like about him is he asks discussion questions, and he's funny and likes to joke around.
I think the English teachers are some of my favorite teachers simply because they seem to understand their students better than any other group. I feel like they're very in touch with their students, some of the most in the school. Aside from that, just a general feeling of positivity.
My English teachers are really chill and mellow, and you feel like you can connect with them.
It's a good question.
What do I think teaching is?
So being a student, you kind of don't exactly see everything that teachers do. I think being a student, it's really easy to blame your teacher for all the things that you don't learn or that you get wrong on a quiz or the way class goes. But I think a lot of what teachers do is putting up a lot with students, like sitting here for hours and grading papers, or grading papers at their house when they should be spending time with their families and children. They do a lot of communicating with parents and trying to get kids to settle down, but they also do a lot of what they love, which is teaching.
So to be honest, the piece that I enjoy the most, I love being in the classroom and being the center of attention.
My teachers made it look easy, and I thought all you had to do was be really smart and personable and bring in cool stuff, and that's not enough.
It's a lot of planning. I'm considering, the content. I'm considering the skills I want them to learn. I'm considering the personalities of the students in the room. I'm considering their previous experiences. I'm considering what's going on in the world at the time that I can connect to. So there's a lot of consideration. I would say that I try to spend a good amount of time making sure that what I'm teaching is purposeful, possibly fun. It's kind of a novel concept sometimes, and something that's going to be important to students.
Going throughout your day, it's nonstop. I think that was maybe something too that I didn't necessarily anticipate, is that you're in go mode and you have to know everything about everything from the moment you walk in until the moment you leave, because somebody's asking you about their grade, about his or her grade. Somebody's asking you about track practice. A parent is calling about something that happened 3 weeks ago, and you know, everything is all at once, and so you have to be on your A game all day.
What upsets you the most while teaching?
Yeah, kids touching each other during class.
What?
Yes.
No what?
Don't touch other students. If I've accomplished nothing else, I want you to understand it's not right to touch other students. Punching, playing around. That's very annoying. The lack of respect that some students show each other.
You just talk over folks.
Like Peter, constantly talking when I'm trying to talk. It's like the stream of conscious right out of Peter's mouth.
Wait, I don't even want to. You want me to get started, Miss Sullivan? I'm not going to get started. If you start me up, I'll never stop. But one of my favorite Rolling Stones songs, by the way. But seriously, I mean,
Thank you for demoing stream of conscious Peter.
It'd just be like my time, my oxygen is more important than yours. No, that's no.
I would say students who are apathetic to learning or being in the classroom is probably the biggest challenge I have teaching.
How many meetings do you go to a week?
A week?
Does this count as a meeting?
6, 7 meetings a week, maybe.
Well, I mean, I meet on my team 2 to 3 times a week.
Department meetings.
Faculty meetings once a month.
I probably have some sort of meeting for track.
I'm a part of several different committees.
You might have meetings with the principal to talk about a class.
With parents, meeting with special education teachers, meeting with students. So actually probably more than that now that I think of it.
About to see is something very few people have ever seen. In fact, I've never been in here. This is Hogwarts. Hogwarts is where we keep books. Books are fun.
as you can see, leave the light on in here as much as possible. These are the myriad of books and trophies that have been won by former students and read by former students, and well, some of them. And if you look down here, you'll see that some books are well into their 80 to 100 years old and falling apart. And apparently they're older than we are, well, some of us. But this is beautiful, beautiful room full of things.
Okay, now I'm going to take you into this place. It's called Gryffindor. It's where we eat. Usually there's no one in here. Hopefully they're not. Oh my God.
Hey, there are no students allowed. I'm so doing serious work.
We have to get out. You don't know this guy. He's dangerous. This room 219. I call it home. I sleep here sometimes. As you can see, I try to give the appearances of having a window, even though I don't. I do charge rent for students in this seat and this seat because they do have the best view, and also they get the breeze coming off the mountains. Student artwork is always welcome, and even really bad student artwork. And also things being left under seats, which you can see if you look closely. It's kind of hard to see, but you might see a few things left under seats that students leave. Oh, hi, Miss Sullivan. We're touring my clean room.
How do you juggle all outside activities with your teaching?
I think it gets easier the more you teach. My first couple of years of teaching, it was all-encompassing. My first year teaching, it seems like I never left the building.
But yeah, gosh, grading, hours and hours of grading. Last Saturday, I got up at like 7, went to the coffee shop and graded for like 2.5 hours. I was in a zone. I was like cranking stuff out. But it's really challenging too, because that means a lot of leaving my kids, you know, on a Saturday morning when they're like, where are you going? Why can't you stay home and play Legos with us?
It's kind of like a shell game. You're always like trying to, you know, keep different people or different groups happy. But I just try not to waste time during school hours, I guess. That's the biggest thing. It's like if you're productive the 8 hours or 10 or 12 hours you're here, it makes life a lot easier outside of school hours.
It's very challenging. I was talking to a couple of my friends the other day. I'm like, sorry, I haven't seen you in months.
I really admire a kid that works super hard on something that's hard for them, because that's scary and it takes a lot of guts, and it takes courage to sit down and do something you're not good at.
And I really like the sense of community, the idea that students can talk about or talk to me about things that bother them or are concerning to them, and I can have some really good conversations with students about you know, almost parenting in a way a little bit, but giving kids another role model to kind of talk to and to kind of work out some issues. And so that is often very rewarding, is sometimes even the relationships that I build with the students.
Seeing any student, whether it's a student who's been really motivated from the beginning or not, realize that they're actually getting it, because I think especially in English we have a billion things going on with like vocab and grammar and writing, and it can be very frustrating for them because there's so much on their plates. You know, sometimes we think like, yeah, I have all this stuff to do, but they have all this stuff to do too. So seeing that they can actually learn and accomplish things, I think, is really exciting.
Anytime students give me positive feedback, that's always, I don't know, a big deal for me. You know, it's always nice to have students in my room before or after school, like, because, you know, it shows that they want to be in my classroom and that they're comfortable in my classroom and all that. So any type of feedback is always, you know, a good feeling.
Do you feel like students appreciate you?
You know, sometimes. I mean, I brought them cookies the other day. They seemed to appreciate that, so that was kind of cool.
So when I'll get emails from students that are in college, or that I'd run into, and they would just tell me a little bit about what my class meant to them, or just hearing how they're using some of the skills that they learned that I taught them in their own lives. That's pretty rewarding.
Do you appreciate your teachers?
Yeah, at least I hope they know I appreciate them, because I do.
I appreciate my teachers. I know that they put in a lot of hard work. I'm not sure, at least that my English teacher knows that, because there are a lot of students in my classes who are very disrespectful to her. It's unfair, I think.
Yeah, I actually do, more than they would know.
Is the grandma in the bedroom?
Because we're using one.
Is your grandma in
The
the
rest of our
bedroom?
dates.
You sunk my
This
battleship.
is, my table's dark, so you can't tell underneath light, but there's penis here.
Find the penis.
They get very concerned about political inequality, recognizing that the government didn't necessarily work well for everybody.
On their free time, Mr. Duss, he probably runs, does the track thing.
He runs a lot, yeah.
Works on his glutes.
If you come in and photo my interview, it's okay.
Where are the rest of the Rice Krispie treats?
Over there.
Did I get to have one?
Yes. And so I thought, get out of my interview. And so I thought to myself,
Cameo.
what Hitchcock.
I should just appear in everyone's interview.
You should.
I just should just be like in the background. Okay.
So anyway, yes.